say I'm not gonna talk about this, and then, what I do, I talk about this. I just want to get that out the way because I speak on that a lot and that's how I feel. But I've been going through a lot of change too in general. When I say I'm not going to talk about certain situations or I don't want to talk about certain situations, it's kind of easier said to say I'm not going to do something. But then when I think about my ambitions and the things that I want to do and what's going to be required in order for me to do these things, I have to talk about something that people are going to be interested in hearing. I'm going to have to do interviews, go on certain platforms. So I kind of just want to get that out the way first. This video is just me kind of taking responsibility and accepting the fact that I'm a clout chaser. It's something personally I've been trying to separate myself from the beginning of when I started this. I understand what I've done and the perspective behind it. For me, clout chasing has always been a tool. I looked at it as I'm just using it to get me to where I need to get to. And then once I get to that position, I'm not going to use the tool no more. The problem with it is, for me to say I'm not a clout chaser, I'm probably not going to finish this at all. But I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, how did I get to this point? There's certain lines that I crossed that I was never supposed to cross. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not happy with it. I got to accept it. I got to take responsibility for it. I also understand that I've adapted to this too over time because I've been doing this for so long. The person that I feel like I'm not, I have to look in the mirror and I have to be honest with myself. This is the person I kind of became too. I became more of a clout chaser over the years. I became more comfortable with controversy and doing controversial things. There's levels to, anything in life, but with controversy itself, there's different levels to it. And I've been going further and further each time. And that's because I feel like I need that tool that's, I feel like can get me to a different level that I wouldn't be able to do by myself, or I don't have the right resources to get to where I want to be, or I'm just discouraged and feel like I'm not going to get to where I want to be for multiple reasons. But I got to consider the fact that what did I had to sacrifice to get to that point? To get to this point, I sacrificed a lot, and I can't just easily separate myself from just saying like, oh, I'm not a controversial person, and I keep going back to controversial things. It don't really work like that. Though I might want to, I might want to just be like, nah, I'm not on that. But I am. When I think about my childhood, I was thinking about like when I was a kid, I used to be a class clown. Now I was a class clown from like kindergarten to like 8th grade. That's when I 8th grade, I became more serious, because when I got in middle school, I was kind of more concerned about respect. In elementary and middle school, I used to get bullied. I done heard Jumanne all my life. As far as my skin complexion, like any kind of dark skin joke, I done heard it. All of it. I used to be a class clown because I wanted people to like me. I wanted validation. I wanted to be accepted. And as a kid, I kind of seen at a young age that, making people laugh is kind of like a way to kind of get people to like you. That's just what I was on as a kid. Like I used to be goofy as a kid, but even that wasn't who I was. I just wanted attention. So that's always been a part of me, even as a young kid. As far as my sense of humor, things that I think is funny. I remember I used to watch Mad TV a lot. Mad TV is very controversial. There's a lot of things that, Mad TV used to do that wasn't really funny, but was funny, you know what I'm saying? And, if you're laughing at certain things like that, it's probably because you obviously don't take certain things as serious. So it's like, that's a part of me. For a long time, I've been trying to separate myself from the clout chasing, and then I try to, figure out where did this even really come from. But there's a part of me that's always been in that, and I didn't want to accept it because that part of me is not something I really identify with, because I don't really respect it. I don't really like it too much. Again, I would use it as a tool. Like when I was a kid, talking about being a class clown, I was never really for like just being funny and goofy, just make myself look like a fool. But if it got people's attention and it got people to like me, that was what I wanted. As a kid, it was more for validation. Now, as an adult, I'm using it as marketing. You could take views and turn it into currency. Like it's all about, trying to make money off of it. I'm not really concerned about people liking me as much as I used to, because if I was concerned with people liking me, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing. Like I know what comes with everything that I'm doing. That's the thing where it's like, all right, a part of this is in me. As much as I wanted to separate myself from all of the clout chasing, a part of it is in me, because if it wasn't, I probably wouldn't even be doing any of the things that I've been doing. I feel like taking responsibility is going to make me feel like I have a little bit more control, because I be fighting myself with this. There's a part of me that's like, yo, stop caring what people think about you. When I started this, that was the promise I made to myself. I made like 2 promises to myself. One of them was, if I start this, I got to finish it. There's no reason for me to start this if I'm not going to go all the way, which I didn't keep that promise. Really. And then the second one was really like, I can't allow myself to feel concerned of what people think about me. I know that I'm wrong. I know what I'm doing is what I'm doing. But as far as being alone, like, this was a lonely path that I was taking, the way how I'm doing it. I already felt alone before it. So I said, you know what? I'd rather be rich and alone than be broken alone. That's just how I feel about it. And that's my attitude with it, where I just was like, I got to accept it. I had to accept that whether people were right or wrong or what they're saying, I have to accept that I was going to be by myself with it. If in the process, if I am able to connect with people, network with people, build relationships, that might happen, it might not happen. But I started this on a lonely, like, I'm by myself, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm coming into this entertainment business, this industry by myself, that's how I plan on leaving. This is definitely soggy now, but I feel like it's gonna be easier for me if I have to accept it. And I'm saying a lot in this video. This video kind of means something that I don't want it to mean, and I'm not going to directly say it, but if you kind of, I'm sure a lot of people can find to figure it out, bro. Like, it is what it is. And I don't like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like the way how that sounds. I don't like the way how that feels, like, to really just take that in and be like, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I grew up in the streets. I grew up with that mentality, with that morals, that concept of, like, being like sturdy. Like, you got to be aggressive. You got to be a certain attitude, certain structure. Like, that clout chasing, it doesn't fit into what I come from. But I separated myself from that culture a while ago, as far as in a lot of things with the streets, just because of what it does to my people and how we kill each other recklessly. And so a part of me is I separate myself from the streets, but a part of me is still attached to that. That's what I grew up on, and now I'm trying to create my own guidance, my own structure, and become my own man. A lot of the things that I take to identify myself, it comes from the hood. So it's like, as far as in what would be considered like genuine and real and respected, clout chasing does not fall under that category of real, you know what I'm saying? Or just like what in the streets, what would be respected. So that's the fight against myself. Like, bro, I ain't no clout chaser. Like, I'm just clout chasing. Sheesh. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I am a clout chaser, and I gotta accept that. That's not a cool thing to say. It's not a cool thing to be. Definitely not happy with it. Kind of want to make this video to kind of take responsibility, bro. Because I obviously I have a victim mentality, but another thing too, I feel like, just because I have a victim mentality, that doesn't mean I don't take responsibility for anything. Or, because usually when people are victim mentality, it's probably because they're a victim. But one thing about a victim mentality is it can make you more of a victim, because you're always expecting negative things to happen. And, being pessimistic, it's kind of like you don't really leave too many opportunity for the good, and to see, like, maybe sometimes it's not always, sometimes it's your fault, you know what I'm saying? And there's definitely been times where, or definitely a lot of situations in my life where I probably blame this person or blame that person, and not consider the fact that what I do wrong too. This person probably is doing something wrong, or this person could be doing better, or whatever the situation might be. But then I ignore what I might do wrong or what I could do better. That's being honest with myself. Like, I'm at a point in my life where when I was younger, I would consider myself being one of the realest people, because I always wanted to be real. And my definition of real would be like just transparent and also being genuine. But I know I changed so much that I can't even say I'm the realest person. I'm not the most genuine person. I wish I was, but I'm not. I try to still be as transparent as I possibly can. And even if I'm doing something fake, I still want to keep it real in the process of it, because that's where my pride, that's the pride that I have left, the morals that I have left, the self-respect that I have left. It just goes into being transparent. And this is like me saying I'm a clout chaser. it just gives me the satisfaction of being able to validate myself, though I know I probably won't get validated by too many people. And, you know, I do my best not to be concerned about anyone else's validation. But I know for myself, it's like, nah, I'm doing the best I can to be transparent. And even if I'm doing something that, you know, isn't really genuine, again, because being real to me is genuine and transparent. That's, people might have their own definition of what they consider real. That's what I'm saying. Because I grew up in the streets. You say you real, you know, going killing somebody might, for some people that might be considered real. So there's a different definitions of real, you know what I mean? Mine is transparent as well as being genuine. I'm definitely transparent, but I'm not as transparent as I used to be, because I feel like I gotta protect myself and the information I put there on the internet. And being genuine, you know, I'm very selfish, so, you know, I don't think someone could be genuine if they're selfish. So with that being said, I'm probably not as transparent or as genuine. So how real am I, you know? Yeah, that's it, man. Just want to say, you know, just take responsibility and accept it for what it is, even though I don't want to. But I'm a clout chaser.